welcome to today's class. We're going to be using a chair for part of today's yoga. So if you have just a foldable chair like I have, or if you have a kitchen chair, pretty much anything will do. So grab one of those. If you have a yoga mat, grab that, a water bottle, and that's about all you're going to need. All right. So once you've got all of that gathered, we're going to start on our mats without the chair. So you just move to the side. We're going to start from a fold position. So from here, feet are about hip width apart, maybe shoulders a little bit narrower. You're going to drop your head, drop your chin towards your chest, and just hang out here. If you want to grab your elbows, ragdoll it, whatever feels good. Just rocking side to side, loosening things up. And soft bend the knees, alternating which leg is bending. From here, bring your hands to the mat. We're going to walk it out into a plank position. So walking your hands forwards onto the mat, nice strong plank. Holding here for just a couple seconds, focusing on your breath. You're going to walk those hands back to your feet. Again, walking out, trying to keep your legs as straight as you can. Bend the knees if you need to. Nice strong plank. Don't let your hips sink. Nice and strong. And walk it back. Next exhale, walking it out again. Tall plank. Inhale, walk it back. Two more. Walking it out, nice strong plank. Feet, fingers are spread. Last one, walk out all the way to that tall plank. Drop to your knees and lower your chest down to the mat. From here, rolling your shoulders back, hands are beneath your shoulders. You're gonna press up into cobra. Chest comes up, gaze comes forwards, and press back into a child's pose. So knees can go wide, forehead can drop to the mat, and just hanging out here for a couple breaths, closing your eyes, focusing on inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Two more breaths here. Last one. And slowly coming back up, going into a tabletop. From here, we're going to go into some cat-cows. So arching your back, bring your gaze up. Exhale, round. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Three more, going at your own pace. And once you've finished your last one, walk your hands forwards just slightly. Tuck your toes and press up into down dog. Pedaling your feet out here. Dropping one heel towards the ground while the other knee's bent. And then switching sides. Being mindful of your breathing still. And pressing both heels towards the ground, hips lift up, gaze comes forwards. And step or walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Forwards fold here. And slowly bring yourself up all the way to stand, arms overhead. Exhale, lower hands to the mat, hands to shins, halfway lift, back is straight. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back your left foot. Bring yourself up into a lunge position. Hands can be in front of your chest, on your hips, or overhead. And here you should be feeling it in your hip flexors. So try to press your hips forward, squeeze that left glute, and lean into that stretching sensation. Hands coming to the ground. You're gonna step back into down dog. Couple breaths here. On your next inhale, step your left foot forwards this time. Right knee comes down and press up into that low lunge. Hands can be on your hips, at your chest, or overhead. Pressing that hip forward, squeezing my right glute, and feeling a nice stretch in the front of my leg. Couple breaths here. Hands to the mat again. You're going to step that right foot up to the top, forwards fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, stand. Arms overhead, slight back bend. And exhale, forwards fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping both feet back. Tall plank. Holding here. You're gonna work the core just a little. You're gonna bring your left knee to the left elbow. Hold. Keep holding, bring that left knee to the center. Bring it all the way across to your right elbow. And back to plank. Other side, right knee, right elbow. To the middle. To the left elbow. Back to plank, keep holding. Nice and strong. And slow lower, chest to the ground. Either pressing up into cobra or up dog. Exhale, pressing back, tucking your toes, down dog. One more breath here. Walking your feet up to the top of your mat. In that forwards fold. Slowly bring yourself up to stand. Chin untucks. Perfect. From here, we're going to transition to using your chair. So still focusing a little bit more on our lower body, and then we're going to switch into upper body. So starting in a couch stretch, you're going to place one foot on the chair and the bottom, and the knee on the ground. Right foot comes forwards, and from here, if this is enough of a stretch in your quad, keep your hands planted down. If it feels okay, you're gonna press up so that your left hand, right hand on your right knee, and pressing that back knee into the ground. If you wanna go a bit deeper, Bring your arms overhead. So if any of these checkpoints, stop at what feels best for you. You're gonna hold here for another few breaths. Let's go for 5 more breaths. Bring your hands down to the mat. You're gonna untuck that left knee. You're gonna bring it down. We're gonna switch sides. Other foot comes onto the chair. Other foot comes up. And again, both sides are different. So maybe this time you're in this bottom position and you feel a nice stretch here. You can stay here, or you can come up onto your knee, or arms overhead. So still trying to keep those hips nice and square, not letting them shoot out to the sides. Just finding a place where it feels best for you. Again, staying here for about 5 breaths. On your next exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, untuck that toe, and bring yourself up to a tall kneeling position. We're gonna use the chair for an adductor stretch. So from here, we're gonna stand up and bring your left foot onto the chair. Right foot is underneath my hips. And from here, soft bend in my hips. I'm hinging forwards, trying to keep a bit of a soft bend in that left knee. And see if you can reach the floor, or if you have a block, placing a block in front of you. You're just gonna be reaching for a stretch in your adductors here. So you can also keep your hands on your hips and just send your hips back until you feel that stretch. Not pushing too far, just enough that you're feeling it. And slowly coming up to a full stand. We're gonna turn our hips forwards so that our hips are square with the chair. Left toe points up. We're gonna hinge forwards, keeping that toe pointing towards us and feeling a nice stretch in our hamstrings here. So lowering down to a place that feels good for you. Maybe you can get your hands all the way down, bring your chest towards your leg. Toes still pointed in, straight towards you. Now see if you can drop that toe towards the inside. And forwards fold again. Just notice if you feel a different sensation. Again, remembering to breathe. And then shifting out. Same thing, just noticing maybe where you're feeling a stretch a little bit different. Slowly coming back up, you can bend that left knee to press up. We're gonna switch sides. You're gonna bring your right foot onto the chair. Hips are square, facing forwards. From here, soften in the knees. You're gonna hinge forward, so sending those hips back away from you. And maybe if you're feeling a stretch here, staying here. Seeing if you can bend a little bit more into your left knee, the stabilizing one. And seeing if you can feel the stretch in the adductors here. You might be able to bring your hands down to the ground. I can't quite. If you have a block, feel free to use that. Up in that left knee. Just So you can focus on sending those hips back and feeling that stretch in that right adductor. I often neglect stretching this, so it may be surprisingly tight. From here, slowly lift yourself back up to a stand. Shift your toes, or you can place your feet on the ground and square yourself up to your chair. Right foot on the chair, toes pointed towards me, hinging at my hips, and feeling that stretching sensation in my hamstrings here. Again, maybe my hands can come all the way down onto the chair, my shins, maybe just staying on my hips, and that's totally fine. Wherever feels best for you. I'm gonna drop your left toe, big toe over to the inside, still hinging forwards and just noticing where you're feeling that stretch now. And to the outside, towards the wall. Again, noticing where I'm feeling that stretch. So I'm bending my knee and coming back up into a full standing position. All right, so from here, we're gonna transition a bit into our upper body. So we're gonna start with a nice lat stretch. You're gonna bring yourself on a kneeling position in front of your chair. Hands are gonna walk to the very edge. You're gonna send your hips back and down. You can maybe walk your knees back a little bit farther if it feels better to sink your chest down towards the mat. So keeping relatively square here, my chest sinking towards the mat, maybe a soft arch on my back, almost like a cat-cow. Pressing in through my hands and actively feeling that stretch in my back, my upper back. Focusing a little bit more onto the sides. You're gonna walk your left hand over to the left edge, stacking your right hand on top, and see if you can look through your arms. So I have a soft bend in my left elbow. My right arm is locked out. And I'm just noticing this stretch in the side body. Walking my hands over to the other side. Right hand on the bottom, left hand on top. Softening my right arm, my bottom arm. Left arm extended, twisting over. You can also do this one with your hands on the ground if the chair is just a little bit too much for today. And walking back towards center. From here, we're gonna go into a bit of a pec stretch. So we're gonna bring our hand to the outside edge of the top of the chair. You're gonna twist your body open. So if you can from here, you can either sink down and bring your chest forwards, or press your hips up and get a little bit more of a stretch in our pecs here. So anywhere in between works. You can maybe dynamically move through it as well. Trying to open up that chest towards the wall. Here for a couple more breaths. Good. Other side. Right hand to the outside edge. I'm here turning my chest open. Either on my knees to start and pressing my hips up, turning my chest open and feeling that stretch in my chest. again, maybe alternating between kneeling and sending my hips up. And again, one more breath. Good. All right, coming back down to the mat, we're gonna finish off in child's pose and then Shavasana. So bringing your knees out to the outside edge of your mat, sending your hips back and down, walking my hands forwards and drawing my chin towards my chest, forehead to the mat, and just breathing here, noticing how my shoulders are feeling, how my hips are feeling. Two more breaths here. Slowly bring yourself back up and lower yourself down all the way onto your back. Feet can either be placed on the mat, knees dropped in if you're feeling it in your low back, or fully extending your legs, letting your feet drop and hands palms up. From here, closing your eyes and just taking a couple nice deep breaths through your nose in through your nose, maybe out through your mouth. One more exhale. And breathing normal again. Couple more breaths. Nice full belly breaths. Slowly wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, rolling your wrists and your ankles. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little back massage, rolling side to side. And then gently dropping my left knees to one side and coming all the way up into a seated position. Awesome. So that's all for today. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully you learned something a little bit new, something different, and have a nice stretch. All right, take care. See you later.